Luckily, no one was hurt during the shootout. Just a few rough characters at the bar by the docks. Nothing we couldn't handle. Jamie took a shot to his shoulder, but his armor took all the impact. We'll need to order him a replacement part before he can go back out in the field. The segmented design is nice because I don't have to shell out the cash for a whole new set. Frankly, the station's coffers have seen better days. Next time a rookie damages their equipment, they might be looking at a desk job for a while. The locker combination is 33941. Inside the package, besides your standard equipment, you'll find the brooch. The appearance of this item is meant to blend in at the party. Pin it to your body and the software inside will map your extents. Activation will briefly cover you in ultraphasic shielding. When you've taken out the target, the shield will switch on to protect you from any immediate retaliation measures they have installed in the security system. If the time frame is not enough to make your escape, the shield can be reactivated. But we'd like to keep casualties to a minimum. Good luck. Why'd you sign up? Wyatt's voice was bored. The mission to the contact light's last known location was taking longer than he expected. Malik was on the floor cleaning her rifle. To get paid, mostly. And that's it? Mm-hmm, she grunted in affirmation. She continued to wipe down the weapon. I'm here to find something, he continued. I shipped it a few years back, but I don't think it made it before the train went down. I'm guessing it's still in the contact lights, so I'm gonna get it back. She began to tighten the last remaining bolts, her routine near completion. She moved her gaze to Wyatt. Seriously? Yep. Malik raised her brow. There were over 7 million security chests in the contact light. The chance of you finding a specific one is impossible. She began to unfold her legs as she propped her rifle in the corner. And according to the distress beacon, the contact light was destroyed in orbit. Your shipment is probably floating around in space. It's all gone, Wyatt. He grinned. I think I'm gonna find it. You're terrible. The following is an audio transcript from the trial of D. Cooper, wanted for 5 counts of serial manslaughter. Mr. Cooper, do you recognize this item? I do. Is it true that you use this weapon on your victims? Yes. And, Mr. Cooper, is it true that you would use this dagger to expose the healed wounds of your victims in an attempt to spill yet more innocent blood from them? Oh, yes, that was my favorite part. Your favorite part, you say. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I think you can see that Mr. Cooper is a truly deranged man who took the lives of countless innocent people. However, if you're not fully convinced, I have one more piece of evidence to provide for the jury's consideration. Your Honor, if I may prepare an audio recording of Mr. Cooper. Proceed. Thank you, Your Honor. Now, please play back the recording. The remainder of this court transcript has been sealed. Reason? I think I'm gonna be sick. Alright, just to clarify, these rounds are not faulty. Heck, I'd say they're better than the standard, but that's kind of the problem. I don't know if it was a new shipment of materials or a problem with the assembly line, but these rounds are supposed to pierce armor, not pierce through the armor, 5 feet of reinforced concrete, a few warehouses, and an armored truck. Could you guys look into this so we don't, violate any Geneva Conventions or anything? What I didn't see was that the golem was aiming its laser at my back. I managed to barely dodge it, just by pure luck, but the blast knocked me to the ground. My glasses flew off my face and I was on my back, stunned, barely able to make sense of myself. And then, well, I can't really explain what happened next. Adrenaline, some kind of divine intervention, I don't know. But I reached out and managed to grab my glasses, raise them to my eyes so I could see, and BAM! Fired the last of my bullets. And, well, I guess I managed to hit something vital in his head. Exploded in red stone and glass. Stopped moving after that. If it wasn't for that shot, I wouldn't be here telling this story. Signal echoes. UES contact light. Hey, toss me a crowbar? Jessie walked over to the toolbox and rummaged about. Plucking a crowbar from the container, she went over to James. Thanks, he grunted, attempting to pry the chest open. Jessie sat herself on the table next to James, idly watching him work. I swear, this'd be the one chest that can't be paid to open. Crash must have broken the circuitry inside, James mumbled to himself. Yeah. Jessie looked around, her eyes falling on a pallet of chests that had been recovered from the recent expeditions. Sighing, she hopped to her feet. I'm heading to the mess hall. Want anything? Yeah, how about a better crowbar? This thing's only a 2nd edition. James stretched, tossing the crowbar over his shoulder. Patting the still unopened chest, he chuckled. It's good, but to be honest, it's getting a little old. Jessie laughed. Hey, happy anniversary! You really thought I forgot? I thought I was the dumb one in our relationship. Come on, T, of course not. Well, I wasn't going to let a little alien death planet ruin our night, right? Shh, just watch. Just watch. It's okay, just watch. You'll love it. You really will. Then we can go home. You can keep your eyes closed. Just listen. Ah, here it comes. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Order. Assorted Saturnian bison steak, 10 pounds. Tracking number 31. Estimated delivery, 11/02/2056. Shipping method, standard. Shipping address, Sloppy Joe's Deli and Catering, Manhattan, New York. Shipping details. For Joseph, CC number, account number 102215. Quality Saturnian bison meat, 10 pounds. Treated with special antibiotics to ensure exceptional growth, shelf life, and texture. One of the most crucial things to remember about having an animal companion is that your relationship is built on trust. Though humans are perceptive, we tend to be blinded by what we see, and we ignore the dangers that lurk beyond our vision. Animals and other xenobiology can sense things that we can't. So remember, if your companion warns you of danger in the dark, you had better well listen. Caring for Your Pets, Volume 3. Order. Paul's Goat Hoof. Tracking number 187. Estimated delivery 03/27/2056. Shipping method, standard. Shipping address, 2663rd Fields, Redmond, Venus. Shipping details. A hoof from one of my many goats. I noticed one day that one of my goats had an abnormally large foot. Thinking it was cancerous, I went to the doctors, and lo and behold, it was. My goat died shortly after. Audio transcription complete from Signal Echoes. Assigning generic tokens. Do you think they're gonna come for us? They'll try. It's gonna be a very long while. What? Why? A long while. Even if they know where to look, we'd be months out from the nearest port. And that's if they even have any ships as fast as ours. FTL ships are very rare nowadays. Months? And what do you mean if they know where? What about the other ships on our shipping routes? We weren't on the route. What? We should have been halfway to Procyon by the time we crashed. But we weren't. The ship never announced it was slowing down either. So that'll make triangulating our positions even harder. I don't get it. Who would take a UES train off course? That's completely insane. I don't know. Only the captain does. There's no reason to slow down in this star system. There's not even supposed to be a habitable planet out here. This looks cooked to me. Can't vouch for how it'll taste, but we have to eat. I can't even think straight right now. I'm not hungry. Eat. We've got a lot of traveling to do tomorrow, and we'll need to keep our strength. Sure. Okay. Do you think it's poisonous? Eat. End of requested transcript. Med-E, the medical robot, has been working overtime. The survivors felt very grateful that their escape pod landed near medbay cargo. They would have most likely perished without it. I suggest you stay indoors and rest. The robot was speaking to a tall man, gaunt but strong. I'd love to, but we're running low on food. Even though his expression was hidden underneath his blue combat helmet, it was obvious the man was extremely tired, and everyone else is recovering from last night's attacks. Without the enforcers, we probably wouldn't have survived. I suggest you stay indoors and rest. It was apparent that Medi only had a limited set of lines. However, the man continued to respond. I can't, Medi. They're counting on me. You know that. I suggest you stay indoors and rest. This time, the man did not humor a reply. Grabbing his shotgun, he turned away from the echoing robot. Weaving his way between countless sleeping bags and stretchers, he sat out into the wilderness again. Everyone was counting on him. Please stay indoors and rest. You have a problem. What? How? These are good for me. They promote self-repair. They promote cell repair, carbon neutral, blah, blah, blah. I've heard that spiel 1,000 times already. Whether they're good for you or not, you can't just have a diet consisting only of them. It's basic dietary science. So what? So what? Eating only mushrooms isn't healthy. Just like eating only meat or vegetables isn't healthy. Oh, so you're attacking vegetarians now, huh? What? No, I just mean... Well, when you're a bit more tolerant of my lifestyle, I'd be glad to continue this conversation with you. Until then, I suggest you open your heart and appetite to a more fungal palate. Order. Condensed matter crystal. 50 kg, 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Tracking number 1, 2. Estimated delivery, 05/23/2056. Shipping method, standard. Shipping address, Jefferson Principality, Highward, Titan. Shipping details. Hope they don't up the price on this thing. I haven't had troubles with UES before, but I've never had to ship a crystal this far before. Let me know if the package is marked as heavy when you get it. While the kinetic rating is very poor, the extremely cheap production costs of Hinen's personal barrier made it a great budget tool for hikers, sailors, and even daily commuters to be comfortable in harsh weather. Many people in the office figured out they could replace their expensive winter jackets with comfortable, trendy personal barriers. Top 10 best personal barriers of 2053. While officially licensed materials are always recommended, hobbyists are known to take matters into their own hands when in a pinch. Don't have any materials up to par? Make your own. Recycling old parts can be a fun way to create materials for your projects. The Ultimate Hobby Guide. Kit bashing and 3D printing. Order. Ammo magazine. Standard ammunition. 45mm rounds. Tracking number 05. Estimated delivery 10/05/2056. Shipping method, priority. Shipping address, Cargo Bay 10-C, Terminal 504-B, UES Port Trailing Comet. Shipping details, Build to Captain. Note from sender? Note from sender. You going on a hunting trip or something? I've never seen anyone order this much ammo before. Order, NRG Sports Soda, 400. Tracking number 49. Estimated delivery 03/12/2056. Shipping method, standard. Shipping address, Venetian Health and Public Services, Ridge Lake, Venus. Shipping details. Yeah, so this is the energy drink that people were mixing during that disaster in Majora Minora a few weeks ago. A quick toxology test on some of the victims has come back positive for all kinds of stuff, really. Methadone, phencyclidine, tetrahydrocannabinol, a variety of opiates, benzodiazepines, barbiturates, amphetamines. The list just goes on and on and on. Radical Drinks is insisting that none of those were from their energy drink, which I find pretty unlikely. Maybe they really know how to party in Violet Heights, huh? In the blaring heat, a silhouette could be seen. Hiding in the cool shade of a nearby cave, she was waiting for the sandstorm to pass. She heard a noise and turned around, recognizing another silhouette. It bounded into the cave with excitement. As the figure got closer, she alarmingly noticed the cargo. Whoa, what the hell? Why are you holding like 50 bombs? Get away from me! What? We need these. This plan is trying to kill us. You're a walking bomb. Those are so unstable. Get away. Where did you even find those things? I found an industrial 3D printer nearby, and it was assigned to the blueprints of these bombs. Oh, awesome, right? Unlimited bombs. What materials? Huh? What materials did you put in? We barely had anything. I just put in everything. Inventory duty, I swear, this must be the most boring position ever. Two crewmates stood in the cargo bay, doing a routine check on the items gathered from the contact light's wreckage. Some of us are out there having adventures and fighting aliens, and I'm stuck in here counting dusty knickknacks. What a bummer. The other crewmate idly tapped at their device as their colleague rummaged through a container of recovered items. Can't agree there. The contact light had millions of items in transit. It's like a collage of people's interests from all across the galaxy. The other crew member scoffed. Oh yeah? That's really inspiring. Say, keep telling those stories and maybe it'll make this go by quicker. You just need to look at this from a different angle. There's so much cool stuff here. Like, for example, the worker took something out of a container. Glancing over at their colleague, the other worker stiffened. What the? Is that a grenade? The worker laughed, tossing the dusty and dirty grenade from hand to hand. Yeah, don't worry. This thing was damaged in the crash, see? Completely harmless. Holding the grenade up, a large dent was visible in its hull. Man, I wonder what kind of model this is. I was always super interested in, like, weaponry and stuff. Looks to be a flashbang. Old model, they don't make these things anymore. The other worker was not so thrilled. I still don't think you should play with that. That is not a toy. Squinting, the other worker realized in horror that the dysfunctional grenade had no pin. Dude, put that thing down. There's no pin. Huh? Oh, come on. Stop being such a buzzkill. This thing is busted beyond repair. It can't even detonate. Not even if I were to say, bang it against this table. Watch, I'll show you. They were both admitted to the medical bay shortly after. I ain't much for drugs. But hell, when fortune is knocking, you gotta greet that door with a smile and nod. Salute! Signal echoes, UES contact light. Hey, nice duds. Where'd you grab those? Oh, this whole thing? I've been making it, actually. Making it? Yeah, well, I found the first tooth in one of the chests, but every time we go out on patrol, we typically run into more of those aliens. Once we take care of them, I try to pick myself out a souvenir, you know, to add to my collection. Wow, is that, like, allowed? I feel like that's not allowed. What the captain doesn't know won't hurt him. Besides, it is cool, right? I guess so. I'll be honest, man, that's creepy as hell. But hey, do you have any more string? I might start one of my own. Order. Key. Tracking number. 12. Estimated delivery. 01/21/2056. Shipping method. Standard. Shipping address. Druid Hills, Earth. Shipping details. I don't trust the UESC. Not one bit. Their security chests, full of overrides and backdoors. I've got a cousin working in their factory, and they've got all kinds of weird things going on in those chests. I've seen so many of them in auctions. For the lost and unclaimed ones, and you just pay money, and it springs open on the spot. Are you kidding me? Anyways, I'm sending you exactly what I said I would. But it's too important to leave the security up to the UESC. So I'm sending the key to you and the lockbox to Margaret. Like a two-factor authentication. Let me know when you get this. Heavy losses were expected, after all. Heavy losses were expected. After all, the invaders were as cunning as they were deadly. The dust had at last settled. Heavy losses were expected. After all, the invaders were as cunning as they were deadly. The dust had at last settled. The golems had returned to the earth, and the Lumerians had returned to their tunnels. It was a long and grueling battle. Jeez. The dust had at last settled. The golems had returned to the earth, and the Lumerians had returned to their tunnels. It was a long and grueling battle, but they had won. The invaders had been purged. The only proof of their last stand was a single banner, fluttering in the wind, flying over a mountain of corpses. Heavy losses were expected. After all, the invaders were as cunning as they were deadly. The dust had at last settled. The golems had returned to the earth, and the Lumerians had returned to their tunnels. It was a long and grueling battle, but they had won. the invaders had been purged. The only proof of their last stand was a single banner, fluttering in the wind, flying over a mountain of corpses. Gossip spreads quickly in terrified communities. Stories that keep the most fearful lizard folk in their passageways, hushed tales that frighten the most commanding of stone constructs and wood folk and creatures of the plains. Fear travels between the trees and the valleys. A demon, fallen from the sky, mighty enough to slay Providence and his worms. Only 2 arms, 2 legs, but with 22 unblinking crimson eyes. Order, Bandolier. Tracking number 112. Estimated delivery 04/19/2056. Shipping method, standard. Shipping address, 3950 Suncell Lane, Tri-City, Earth. Shipping details. Thank you for your participation in the auction. We've included a short history on the item, as well as documents to verify its authenticity. This is the famous bandolier worn by B. Grundy himself. He and his pals used to raise terror all over the map of the new territories. Their favorite activity was to tie up people they didn't like and drag them behind their horses. Grundy clearly had a sweet spot for the old days. The sling carries an impressive assortment of ammunition. Grundy himself carried many different guns. It was rumored that they held out for 3 whole days and nights before their weapons ran dry. Order, Gore's Tome. Tracking number 19. Estimated delivery 07/07 to estimated delivery 07/07/2056. Shipping method, priority. Shipping address, 99th floor, Crumbling Tower, Venus. Shipping details. Ancient secrets, transmutation, homunculi, alchemy, nothing more than nonsense. Pursuits of rightly intentioned but grossly misled minds. Or so I thought. This item's unexpected physical properties are reason enough to stay my immediate dismissal. Strange fortune led this book to me, and stranger knowledge still fills the pages. Chilling, even. It concludes in Chapter 8 that even iron can become gold, but only through a ritual of intense bloodletting. A thought disturbing enough without considering the bountiful riches that accompanied the estate. The takeaway, above all else, seems to be that you cannot get something from nothing. Even the very paper of the tome turned to ash as I tried to make photocopies. Whatever was on the first 2 pages is lost forever. I need transcriptions of the rest by hand, and I know you take pride in your precision. And more importantly, Costa, I trust you. Don't do anything that would draw attention to yourself. I will try to find the other volumes. This is knowledge too dangerous to lose. Auto-transcription from Rally Point. The planet was unforgiving, taking more and more with each passing day. Lives and limbs were lost, and the medical tent grew increasingly busy. Jans was unfortunate enough to walk right into a group of Lumerians during a routine check around the Rally Point perimeter. He was lucky enough to escape with his life, but the Lumerians wounded his leg before backup arrived. Jans leaned back in his cot. He strummed the strings on his ukulele, which he had picked up from an earlier expedition, as he contemplated his thoughts. Nothing too complex, but just a simple tune that he had picked up back when he took lessons as a child. Unbeknownst to him, one by one, he had gathered himself an audience. The gentle melodies of Jan's ukulele brought a rare comfort to the pained and labored patients, and for the first time since admittance, they felt like they could smile. Life in the medical tent was never something anybody could look forward to. Death, irreversible injuries, and a choking atmosphere surrounded them. But for a brief moment, the lives of those patients became that much brighter. Jan stopped, surveying the crowd intently watching him. He laughed, readying himself for an encore. Maybe things wouldn't be so bad after all. Order, Deathmark. Tracking number 66. Estimated delivery 02/22/2056. Shipping method, high priority. Shipping address, 421 Lane, Lab 72, Mars. Shipping details. Everyone said that I was crazy to search for lost artifacts on Mars. Idiots. There hasn't been any proof of a previous civilization, but I've always trusted my gut. This skull proves that I'm right, that something did exist here before. That smug professor at the university. Always disparaging my research. I loved seeing the look on his face as I shook his hand. Idiot. Karma must have been working overtime. I heard he fell ill shortly after. I suppose my success was just too much for him. In fact, everyone I've shown seems to not be returning my calls. Are they avoiding me? Are they scared this news would shake up their academic communities? Too proud to admit that I'm right? I'll find someone who will give me the recognition I deserve. I've worked too hard and done too much. If I don't keep going, I think I might just die. The War of 2019, while lasting only a brief year, was the bloodiest conflict in human history. As the war got deadlier throughout the year, many rebel groups began to rely on tradition and history for inspiration. The war horn, pictured above, was a favorite of the Northern Fist Rebellion for both its inspirational and tactical uses. Exhibit at the National WW-19 Museum. As humanity began to venture out into the depths of space, high-energy but low-volume fuel sources became critical for interplanetary travel. Stability came later. A Brief History of Interplanetary Advances, Volume. Order, Old Guillotine. Tracking number 782. Estimated delivery 04/29/2056. Shipping method, standard. Shipping address, Warehouse 36, Anklar, Primas 5. Everyone is still operating on adrenaline here. We finally overthrew our oppressors and have taken back Primas 5. I know some of the overlords will attempt to buy their way onto a stealth transport, but that's going to be quite difficult due to their epic economic blunder. We don't just want blood for all the injustices we suffered at their hands. We want to send a message to would-be sympathizers. This old guillotine will serve both as an execution method and a symbol to strike fear into their hearts wherever they might be hiding. Primus 5 is alive! You don't want to rename it Billow the Wisp? No! Jarred? No. Then what about Flared? Stop. It needs a name. It's no different than you or me. Next time we're at base, I'm applying for a transfer. You know that won't go through until at least December. How long have you been waiting to use these? Coming up with them on the spot. I've got a good head on my smolders. You can stop emphasizing those words so much. I get it. I will never stop fueling around. You want to grab something to eat when we get back? Thank the stars that's over. Yes. I hope they're not serving that gruel we had yesterday. Maybe they'll cook you up a pepperoni pizza? Hey, wait up! I can't run holding this thing, it might go off! European laws have cracked down heavily on poaching, with the intent to help the re-emergence of the hopu. Since then, the Greebox Foundation has helped support hopu conservation groups, substantially growing their population beyond the initial 3 that were recorded in recent years. European Wildlife Guide. Should passion die down? Should light be extinguished? Will you bring me patience? Will you die with me? The syzygy of Io and Europa. Should memories be lost? Should oceans be clouded? Will you bring me fervor? Will you die with me? The syzygy of Io and Europa. I'm not going nowhere. What I do is important, and no plague is going to stop me from getting that done. City folk are all up in a tizzy over this and that, scared that y'all will pass without doing some crazy goals you set for yourself. But me, I'm not afraid of death. Suffering is just another part of life, and like labor, I can do it myself. To death, I say, I don't need your damn help. Unnamed Farmer. Tragedy of Mercury. A History. Order. Infusion. Tracking number 768. Estimated delivery 02/08/2056. Shipping method, priority, biological. Shipping address, Rage Valley, Fleet Hangar, Mars. Contains samples from bears, leeches, tigers, elephants, elephant sharks, sharks, bull sharks, ants, and anteaters. Simply hook up to a dialysis machine along with the necessary equipment and swap out your blood for genetically superior ones. You can add whatever blood sample you want as far as I know. Just make sure you take the pills that allow the body to accept the new blood, or your body will reject the cross-species infusion. Remember that sampling from other animals is a great basis for experimentation. Fixing a spare bayonet onto his shotgun, he glanced at the horizon. The thundering of footsteps, big and small, was growing louder and louder. They were nearly upon him. He went over his kit one last time. 5 bayonets, 23 packs of incendiary explosives, 15 magazines of armor-piercing ammunition, 33 sticky bombs, 4 tear gas grenades, and so on. And his favorite, 2 shoulder-mounted missile launchers, loaded with 6 HEG Viper missiles. Heat-seeking, detonation power of 15 pounds of TNT per missile, lightweight, and the best part, automatic firing mechanism. He initially favored a more analog approach to his weapons, but the thing had grown on him. Turning to face the oncoming mob, he loaded his shotgun. The adrenaline started pumping. Bring it on. Order. Miscellaneous OW Artifacts 47. Tracking number 01. Estimated delivery 08/13/2056. Shipping method priority. Shipping address National Old War Museum, New Orleans, Earth. Shipping details. We've managed to round up all the local Old War artifacts that we could find. A lot of interesting things here. Rifles, rations, pamphlets. We even found a prototype stealth kit in fantastic condition. That could be a great centerpiece for your exhibit. However, a slight issue. In transit, the truck hit a pothole and jostled all the ship. It seemed to have actually activated the stealth drive. Some strange short circuit, and our team can't actually confirm the location of the stealth kit. It should be in one of the boxes. We will be expecting the commission to include the stealth kit. It was a crisp evening, and things were looking up. The botanist began walking towards the plant biology complex to check on several alien plants that had been recovered from the week before. Another worker was already in the complex, busy at work. "Hey! Oh, hello!" The worker greeted her enthusiastically. He was carrying several bags of fertilizer, and she gave him a quizzical look. "You need any help with those?" she said, gathering her clipboard for her check. "Oh, no, I'm all right. It's a good workout, actually," he said. As they walked, the botanist couldn't help but wonder what kind of job would require that much fertilizer. As the door to the greenhouse whirred open, she got her answer, roots scaling the height of the greenhouse and snaking along the ceiling, even invading the containers of other specimens. "What the hell?" she cried, her jaw slack, and then she noticed the other plants. Every other plant in the greenhouse had withered, with an incriminating root leading back to the overgrowth that the worker was now feeding fertilizer. The botanist was speechless. "What happened? What is that?" she stammered. The worker turned to her and grinned. "One of the specimens we got in the last expedition. He demands a lot of nutrients. It took me so long to get him to even sprout. I was racking my brain trying every trick in the book, and every other specimen seemed to be growing fine. So I figured, hey, why not share some of that? And look!" Spreading his arms, the worker marveled at the gallery of dead plants. Dropping her clipboard, the botanist's stomach sank. Things were no longer looking up. Order, Chronobobble. Tracking number, 99. Estimated delivery, 03/03/2066. Shipping method, priority. 9042 Private Drive, Yustic Plaza, Mercury. Shipping details. Weren't you just a kid? Summer break feels like it was just so recent, but it's been 10 years, hasn't it? Life moves faster and faster as you get older. Less moments to remember, to cement you in time. I don't even remember being 25. How did I forget an entire year? Anyways, I found this in a trinket shop on Mercury. A chronobobble. The seller said something about special relativity. Real heavy distortions or something. I didn't really get it. It's supposed to slow down time around it. Right. Anyways, I'm shipping this to myself. To arrive in 10 years. A gift from me to me. A reminder to make memories. To slow down a bit. 10 years will pass so quick. Try to remember them. You've got to put effort in life. Order. Please let me know when you get this. I found some. Tracking number 53. Estimated delivery 05/22/2056. Shipping method, priority. Shipping address, research center, polarity zone, Neptune. Shipping details. By the way, Mama should have sent over another package as well. Let me know when you get it. Papa. Order, wax quail. Tracking number 15. Estimated delivery 12/18/2056. Shipping method, priority. Shipping address, research center, polarity zone, Neptune. Shipping details. Hello, Boo. How are you doing? This is Mama. The weather here has been dreadful. It is raining every day. We have recently found a new bakery nearby that has some delicious sandwiches. Papa has recently taken up whittling. He uses wax because it is softer. I've attached one of his favorites. Hopefully it's not been dinged in the mail. Anyways, I will leave Boo alone. Hope to see you soon. Mama. Signal echoes. UES contact light. Yeah, this package is going to 594 South River, EO. Going to 594 South River, EO. Check. One red. Going to 594 South River, EO. Check. One whip, red. Priority shipping. Going to oh, wow. Signal echoes. UES contact light. It's disgusting. It's only mildly disturbing. You're overreacting. Well, when that thing turns on us, don't come crying to me. It seems like it wants to only help us, so I'd rather have it close in case that dangerous-looking grip comes back around. I swear there's more than one. It's everywhere I look, man. The storage locker, the food dispenser, the cargo containers, everywhere. You're exaggerating. It's probably just following you. Snap out of it! Ow! Did you just smack me? You were acting hysterical. I had to. Hey, why is that thing looking at me now? Order. Lepton Daisy. Tracking number 23. Estimated delivery 07/23/2056. Shipping method, standard. Shipping address, Duck Lane, Orlandis, Earth. Shipping details. Dear Stalnia, I haven't been able to visit for a while, so I hope you and Libra are doing well. I heard that you're clearing the land there and want to spruce things up. I'm sending this flower I picked in the carbon fields of Electron Valley. The terraformers there told me that over time, landscaping efforts were improved by the organic band signals sent out by this plant. I've been helping them build a new world. Just make sure to put it up high enough that Mushka can't get to it. I'm not sure what effect it'll have on dogs. Order. Custom-made barbed wire, 200 meters. Tracking number 05. Estimated delivery 02/01/2056. Shipping method, priority. Shipping address, P.O. Box 23-5B, Fort Blondashire, Colony of Man. Shipping details. You were right to come to me for this premium barbed wire. The other retail models won't get the job done like I do. Just cutting up invaders isn't enough. No, sir. I built in a secret defense mechanism. By cramming as many razors, X-Acto knives, and any other blade I could find into this thing, this beauty is a powder keg just waiting to burst. This is my greatest work yet. If I don't get good reviews, expect to hear from my lawyers. Order. Antique Pauldron. Pauldron. Pauldron.
Pauldron. Pauldron.
Pauldron. Pauldron. Order. Antique Pauldron. Tracking number 58. Estimated delivery 04/05/2056. Shipping method, priority. Shipping address, Jungle 7, Museum of 2019, Earth. Shipping details. Another antique for the collection. This bad boy was found on the battlefield where much of the war was fought. The excavation site was littered with bones, all surrounding the remains of one rebel soldier who was carrying this artifact. According to hearsay and rumors, rebel soldiers wearing pauldrons much like this one would enter trances on the battlefield. Time would slow down and all they could see was the enemy. Of course, it's just speculation, but there were a lot of bodies surrounding this thing's old owner. Be careful, okay? Order. Alien head. Tracking number 76. Estimated delivery 07/13/2056. Shipping method, high priority, biological. Shipping address, Solomon. Backwaters, Mars. Shipping details. Important sign from the spirits, passed down for many generations. Must be used for high noon ritual to ward off sickness and fatigue. Must be kept cool or will rot. Helps energize the kinfolk and can be used for extra human strength and agility. Important. Shattering Justice, Owner's Manual. Excerpt from section 2.13. And if the target material doesn't cave under the immense weight, just keep hitting it until it does. The patented technology inside the face of this tool doesn't just use brute force to break down its mark. It also utilizes a formulated nanotoxin released through internal mechanisms that builds up through subsequent contact. In other words, each hit makes it easier to break. Please refer back to section 1.8 for information on proper handling and the included antitoxin gloves. Order. Artifact E-8EE572. Tracking number 490. Estimated delivery 08/10/2056. Shipping method, priority. Shipping address, Titan Museum of History and Culture, Titan. Look, sorry about the delay. We've had a flood of orders come in from this site, but it was exactly where you said we should look. There was a sealed off room where you marked the excavation diagram. I finished translating the engraving too, so consider that a bonus for the time we took to get to it. I am the will to survive made manifest. To those who never lose hope, to they who try in the face of impossible odds, I offer not protection, but the means to bring one's unconquerable spirit forth as the defender of their mortal lives. It's so lightweight, we figure it must have been entirely decorative. That seems to line up with the text. In any case, I hope it makes a good exhibit. I'm a big fan of the museum, so it wouldn't hurt to give me a partner's discount next time I visit, right? Lasers have their speed, swords have their edge, gases have their reach. But let me tell you, nothing, and I mean nothing, is as timeless as gunpowder. Just a pinch, jammed into a tight enough socket, and kaboom. You got yourself not just a powerful weapon, but something that'll leave a lasting sense of fear in your enemies. I mean, nobody wants to be blown up, right? Autobiography of Hans Czar, modern king of weaponry. When artificial intelligence became more commonplace, many companies jumped on the trend for smart products. This included smart doors, lights, coffee makers, lawnmowers, vacuum cleaners, bedding, kitchen knife sets, and other home goods. After a series of gruesome lawsuits stemming from hacked smart appliances, most products soon went back to their more traditional analog lines. Why is Smart So Dumb? Volume 7. Why is Smart So Dumb? Volume 7. Captain, look out! A voice cried from the old man's periphery. But he knew he was in no danger. With a chirp, his companion microbots activated and fired, disintegrating the fireball, just as it did every time. Quickly spinning on his heel, the old man fired his shotgun, decapitating the Lumerian with a swift and pronounced boom. I'd worry more about your own safety than mine, Private. It was a massacre. The orbital probes had incinerated both the battalion and the enemy, as well as the entire plateau. There was no life left to be found except for one lone soldier. The soldier trudged through the scorched plains, numbly looking for any survivors, but he found none. The soldier tried to find water. He had only just noticed how thirsty he was and how much his head hurt, how much his heart hurt, but he found none. The soldier tried to remember why he was out on this terrible mission and why he had to say goodbye to so many, but he found none. The soldier tried to find anything that could justify why he was alive, some semblance of meaning or hope, and he found one. A small leaf peeking out from a pile of ash. He gently plucked the clover out of the ground. Somehow, it survived hours of orbital bombardments. With clover in hand, the soldier began the long trek to report back to his supervisors. Was this divine intervention? Was there some meaning, some reason as to why both him and this little clover survived? Or were they just plain lucky? The smell of sulfur fills the air. Oh God, they're so close. They have Hitchcock. Oh God. Grab the dagger from my backpack, quick! I got it. What the hell? This isn't gonna work, Marion. What the hell am I supposed to do with this against those? They blew him to pieces. Oh God. You have to kill me. To kill me. You have to kill me with it. What? What the hell? Yeah. It's the only way. Please. What are you saying? Stop! It's a magic dagger. It'll save us. She will save us. But you have to kill me with it. Please don't. Please don't make me. Oh God. You have to. I've seen how this works. It's the only way. They're coming so close. You have to use it on me. Kill me. I'm so sorry, Marion. I'm so sorry. I didn't think that it would do it. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it. Hey, Dio. Wow, you have gotten older since the last time I wrote. How old are you now? 10? And so much grumpier, too. I've never seen a cat so grumpy. What do you have to be grumpy about? Despite the fact that you're the pickiest eater I know and love to meow all throughout the night, every night, it still makes me happy to hear you bounding down the stairs every time I come home. I like when I wake up and I see you sleeping across from me. I like when you sit at the dining table like you're gonna eat with us, too. I like how you hit the power button every time you walk across my laptop. I like how shamelessly needy you are. Please live a long life. I'm needy too, and I'd like that a lot. Love, Duncan. P.S. Would it kill you to purr for Mama every now and then? Denizens of lower gravity planets like Mercury historically have had trouble adjusting to life on other planets. Mercurians with their lower bone density, left, would typically shatter their femur within a week on heavier planets. Members of asteroid-rigged flotillas and colony ships have similar issues when arriving home from space. The invention of kinetic dispersion rings, above, help alleviate the stress of heavier than normal gravity by converting kinetic energy into heat, sound, and light. Settlers from Mercury could finally leave their home planet in safety. Mercurian History Museum. Sir, the ghosts are back. The man sighed. After a routine expedition, one of the crew members, a simple soldier, had recovered an artifact thought to have been aboard the contact light. A simple mask, adorned with a painfully happy grin. I'll take care of it. The man trudged down the hall towards the barracks. The Lumerians he had killed earlier that day walked down the hall by him, barely earning a second glance from the man. This had become so commonplace that most of the crew members in this block had grown accustomed to having a ghostly roommate. But enough was enough. Stepping through the ghost of an imp, the man slammed the door open. The lights were off, and in the corner sat the soldier. All right, we've had enough fun playing with the dead. Fork it over. No response. The man grunted and hoisted the soldier to his feet, giving him a few rough shakes. Hey, can you hear me? I said hand over the mask. I'm tired of waking up next to beetles, so give it a rest already. The soldier's limp body moved. Slowly, the soldier raised his finger, pointing directly at the man. What are you? With a sense of dread, the man turned and saw the Lumerians he had killed earlier step into the room. Their mouths began to glow with an otherworldly glow. The man cursed under his breath as he loaded his shotgun. This planet, I tell ya. Order. Unique leather belt. Tracking number 40. Estimated delivery 10/23/2056. Shipping method, high priority, biological. Shipping address, Auckland, New Zealand, Earth. Shipping details. The mind rules over its body from a fortress of bone, learning of the world around it through fleshy portals. The heart is just an extension of the body, which finds its root in your head. Somebody said this, I can't remember who. Anyway, make sure to take great care of it. It's incredibly rare. Sven Vols discovered the specimen that holds the record of galaxy's largest snowflake, a whopping 0.5 meters in diameter with an average temperature of negative 52 degrees. However, much to the despair of novelty snowflake enthusiasts everywhere, this gargantuan snowflake was lost in transit aboard the UES Contact Light, which disappeared in uncharted territory. One can only hope that it is preserved and frosty as ever, wherever it may be. Academy Galactic Records, 2056. Nature has a way of nurturing the physical, the mind by perseverance and dedication. The soul, however, is healed by fantasy and fantasy alone. Unknown Venetian monk. Biopsy samples of Cairn Jefferson. Tracking number 051. Estimated delivery 11/11/2056. Shipping method high priority, biological. Shipping address Sorocosmo, Beacon Post. Shipping details. Contained in this shipment should be a variety of biopsy samples from our late Mr. Jefferson. As you know, he was an extraordinary man in almost any manner. He was athletic, brilliant, kind, funny, and an all-around great human specimen. He donated his body to science, and as we began the operation we found a most terrifying discovery. A quick visual examination of the subject's brain shows a very particular oddity. It seems to be housing a variety of glowing brain stalks, similar to tube worms. Trying to biopsy the stalks is impossible. They seem to disintegrate into dust the moment we remove it from the brain. We cannot explain this oddity at all. As such, we have included the entire brain in this shipment. Please let us know if you find any explanation. Oops! So sorry. I forgot to include the installation wizard with your new turbine. Thanks so much for letting me know. Who knows what could have happened if you didn't configure the turbine prior to installation. Always make sure to run the diagnostics on this disk every few weeks. It'll help with the turbine's longevity. Let us begin. What is your oath? Not very long ago, health and time were in perfect synergy. Pain and love, death and memories, the great equalizer. She would always come for us. But disparity now plagues our generations, and our children's. Not many pass, but so many are born. So many doomed souls, saved. Our hubris as a race continues to grow, unchecked, unrestrained. Now there is no volume in our world for death, and she cannot visit us. But is being alive only an offset from death? Without contrast, won't we all be dead in life? The standard has shifted, and now we are all so very close to never living again. We must make volume for her name, to restore the balance. Let us consume the concepts, so we may begin to drain the bloated cistern that is our world. As disciples, we will spread her words and opinions. As pupils, we will sow death, and should we be lucky, granted an audience by her. We shine. The Torment, Chapter 1, Stanza 1, Verse 2. Order. Interstellar Plant Seed. Tracking number 44. Estimated delivery 08/27/2056. Shipping method standard biological. Shipping address Giardina Dealership, Naples, Earth. Shipping details. Hello. Yes. I'd like one of those space plant seeds for the office. I think it would look so nice in here. It'd really brighten up the room, and it could really use it. Al at the Denver branch says he got one, and it's really made a difference. His sales are off the charts, and he's attributing all his success to this magic plant. I've also heard that it sort of gives off a glow that has medical benefits. That would be great for the pain I've been having in my ankle after that run. Might even help the attitude of some of my customers. Tesla Presentation Software V1.14. Powering on. 10. Issuing welcome statement. 9. Welcome, one and all. 8. Please, take a seat. 7. Make sure those behind you can see. 6. The presentation will start shortly. 5. Please obey the staff for your safety. 4. Initiating room mood lighting. 3. Get ready to behold. 2. The marvelous wonders. 1. Of electricity. Power anomaly detected. Initiating reboot procedure in 10. Order. Soulbound catalyst. Tracking number 890. Estimated delivery 11/06/2056. Shipping method high priority. Fragile. Shipping address 1414 Place, Fillmore, Venus. Shipping details. If you thought the ring was a rare find, wait till you get your hands on this. It turns out the method the king used did not originate from his time period. His court discovered a ritual performed by a tribe from much further back. It, of course, dealt with sacrifice, but in substantial groups. This was supposed to concentrate the catalyzing properties of the item it was imbued into. Payment will be at least twice as much as our previous deal. We can discuss it later, another night. Hard light afterburner. Order. Specimen XAS4-49. Tracking number 342. Estimated delivery 12/29/2056. Shipping method priority. Shipping address Geshka Tower, 33rd floor, Mars. Shipping details. Our hard light research has become even more refined since our last correspondence. The initial purpose of the afterburner was to function as a primary heatsink for our bigger HL implementations, like our bridges and barriers. However, if attached to a rapidly degrading source, like those we typically dispose, we get a wonderful emission rate of semi-tachyon particles. In other words, extremely high capacity fueling. It should be obvious by its design, but to reiterate, stay away from the HL exhaust end when active. The emission method is violent by design, and so should be mounted to static, stable sources only. The key is incredibly simple, a stone crescent with little discernible detail to the naked eye. But if one looks closer, with a sight beyond sight, they may notice the patterns inscribed on the key's being. The patterns tell many things. The key's function, to unlock a lost trove of abandoned treasure. The key's function, to unlock a lost trove of abandoned treasure. The key's creators, 2 brothers, one composed of ambition and the other compassion. The key's hopes, infused into the key, deep within its core, is a memory of better times, and the hope that one day, perhaps things could be better again. The key's reality, the bitter realization that such a reality exists only in the past. Yeah, Caitlin, let me know if you copy. I copy, what's up? I've made friends? I don't know. What? The giant bug we killed earlier. Well, the corpse seemed to attract a bunch of nasties. I was on my way to clean them up when I realized they were waiting? Confused, maybe. Anyways, I was walking up to them to get rid of them, and strangely enough, they seemed passive. The same bugs that gave me that concussion yesterday, and I was ready to... What? Are you okay? Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. Anyways, I felt bad killing them since they seemed all inert and such, so I just kind of left, and they've been following me ever since. Real weird. Anyways, I guess I've made some friends. I wonder what they eat. Do they eat? Since they don't have any mouths that I can see, I don't know. Rich, stop! Please don't bring them back to camp. Oh, well, I could, Junior! Junior, stop! Leave your brother alone! Should add some, like, beetle sound effects in there for that shit. I don't know. Lab dissection analysis file. Subject, shatter spleen. Technician, Professor Meheri Daimera. Table spec, spill proof BDC-3. Notes. This will be my 3rd attempt at a dissection of an imp organ. My first attempt resulted in rupture. My second attempt resulted in rupture. Cutting into the outer layer produces copious amounts of fluid discharge. As the fluid flows, the rest of the organ inexplicably swells. The swelling will ultimately result in a violent rupture. I made use of the stemming tools on the BDC-3 to successfully proceed without any incidents. I was surprised to find sharp needle point objects, which are maybe bones, inside of it. Time stamping for a break. Came back to leave some final notes. 3rd attempt aborted after I injured my hand. Eventually, I was able to stop my own bleeding. The organ seems to contain immense anticoagulant properties. Molten perforator. Lab dissection analysis file. Subject, molten perforator. Technician, dem bones, brown. Table spec, heatsink UB-2. Notes. I'm using UB-2 due to temperatures above safe levels. I'm removing molten enamel and placing it aside for substance analysis. It seems to be solid, but it also seems like it's swimming. Upon structural investigation, I found cavities and internal chambers inside of the tooth. I'm reducing the lab temperature by 10 degrees. The heat is still generating inside the veins. I think fire is being supplied into the tooth. I remove my lab coat. It's very hot. Heat generation is still occurring inside of the severed object. I put some more ice in my drink. Wow, it is hot in here. I'm time stamping for my break. Charged perforator. Lab dissection analysis file. Subject, charged perforator. Technician, dem bones, brown. Table spec, GEC-4. Notes. Using GEC-4 to electricity above safe levels. Removing charged enamel and placing aside for substance analysis. It's solid, yet swimming. Upon structural investigation, found cavities and internal batteries. Reduced lab electricity by 10 kilowatts. Electron generating veins present. Charge is being supplied to the tooth. Remove my lab coat. Very staticky. Electron generation is still occurring in the severed object. Put some more ice in my drink. Wow, it's electric. Time stamping for dance break. Genesis loop. Lab dissection analysis file. Subject, Genesis loop. Technician, Eleanor Viers. Table spec, dissection 5B4 with Ella maintenance kit. Notes. Genesis loop is highly conductive organ. Genesis loop is highly conductive organ. Contains conductive filaments stretching from one end to the other. Both sides of the loop have organelles at the end. One has positive charge, one has negative charge. Sticking ends of loop together generates voltage. Connected loop and fed organ 50 volts. Hair stood up on end. Touching loop resulting in numbness in fingers. Upping voltage to 100 volts. Shooting arcs from organ. Loop shudders and glows bright. Dissonant humming is heard. Upping voltage to 200 volts. Bright flash. A loud crack as loop releases a blast that knocks me back. Lights go out. Dissection table hardware damaged by voltage. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. Lab dissection analysis file. Subject, Titanic knurl. Technician, C. Foreman. Table spec, mineral analysis, BFC-5. Notes. From initial inspection, knurl seems to be comprised of non-metallic substances. No marks are left when knurl is rubbed against test surface. We inspect hardness of knurl. We managed to chip some of the knurl away, showing us that the knurl was tough, but granular. Individual fragments could be removed with little effort. The fragment is moving. It appears to be trying to rejoin the mass. Out of curiosity, I let it move freely. It slides along the table, up the knurl, and deposits itself back into its original position. The seam lines fade, and the knurl is back as it had been minutes ago. I test for magnetic properties in the rock. None are found. Knurl's regenerative properties are documented, but are unexplainable at this moment. Knurl is slowly moving off of the table as I write this. Yes, the egg. The grandparent incubates the eggs. And the child? The child lays the egg. And the egg becomes the parent. Okay. And the parent does what? Takes care of the children and the grandparent. And the grandparent is the youngest? Younger than the child, yes, but not the youngest. Who's the youngest? The parent. Pearl. His influence is dark. I do not blame you for your curiosity, but cleanse yourself of it immediately. It will ruin you and all that you care about. A radiant pearl. Oh, that is strange. That is unlike the other pearls. Do not be mistaken. His influence is still dark. Despite how beautiful your pearl is, it is not from a place of kindness. It cannot be. Empathy course. 13006 Probe Core Instance Request Recognized. 13006 Probe Core Instance Overview for Stored Models. SERID 045340983130. INST, mining probes, instances. Highlights. This one is very dead and yellow. This one is very bold and green and lonely. This one is very dead and yellow. 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 This one is very cold and red and lonely. 13010 docking cores. 13011 deployed. Lab dissection analysis file. Subject, Meyer Dern. Technician, J. Flint. Table specs. Full enclosure AY-2 with ARMM kit. Notes. The survey team went through a lot of trouble to bring this one back. Fitz was the only one left standing. In fact, said he felt great, and the rest are still in the recovery ward. Subject is what appears to be a clay vase. Could this be part of a camouflaging defense mechanism? Inside the vase is a dark, gooey substance. Goo can articulate into functioning appendages. Intelligence of subject indeterminable at this point. When operating the ARMM kit, goo attaches to all but one of them. Instability in the ARMM power system aborts the procedure. Little Disciple. Hello, little one. How was your adventure today? Oh, your form is broken, little one. What trickeries have you gotten yourself into? Oh, do you tire of adventure? Would you like to help me tend to the garden, my little one? I understand. Oh, your form. Do not worry. Come closer. Here, 2 coils of Denku rope. Those are for strength. Here, 4 cards of obsidian. Those are for self-confidence. I give you nothing for spirit. Oh, do not worry. We will still go on adventures. It will be quiet adventures. Come closer. Closer now. Closer. Now watch. Watch closely. Watch how I tend to our garden. Brother, what is this? Why is it misshapen and weak? Was there an error in my design? Guardian, come to me. Allow me to see your construction. So I see. These are not the correct ratios. This is no minor error, brother. You have purposefully deviated from the design. For what purpose have you done this? You cannot weave a construct from such an abundance of soul. You know it is too unstable, that it is too unpredictable and too frail. I have told you this, and yet you have wasted the materials I have gathered, and exhausted your own strength to fabricate this miscreation. To what benefit? At its best, it can be no more than an inferior servant. It is deficient in the compounds that were to give it fortitude and strength. At its worst, it will betray us. You have created the first being of this world which threatens us. We cannot keep it here. Attempting to destroy it will risk its retaliation. I will prepare one of the vaults for it to be sealed away, while it is still young and naive. What a foolish mistake you have made, brother. I expect you to return the design to me. I cannot allow you to build another construct with so much power and with such little control. I will build the rest of our guardians. By my hand. They will be weak, but at least they will be loyal. Go home. I will deal with this creature. We can discuss a better project for you when I return. Fossils, remnants, how cruel. This moon once housed life. Life that you may have held dear had the timing been right. But our timing was wrong. We were born much too late. Now, it is just calcium to me and irrelevant to you. Isn't that right? Gravity concentrating, falling inward, condensing, hardening. A singularity shrinks to the point your mind inverts, reversing reality. Now return. Don't the matters of the physical world seem trivial now? Your tasks in this realm are simple and hastened, all in an attempt to get reversed. How many times can you make this trip before you are claimed by its process? Do not let it take you. Take it instead. Here. A wretched carnival. They were doomed for good reason. Doomed people of Ophelia, lost in frantic worship of parasitic influences. Lumerians, destined to a dead planet picked clean. chitin beasts, automations of death. Why do you bring them home? They were not meant to survive. I have watched you for ages from my dead rock, and every century you disgust me with vanity. You invite vermin into your home. Wretches, rats, monsters, creatures without restraint, each and every one planet killers, and yet you entertain them as guests, like children requiring saving and protection. She should have died for me. Her gift was wasted on you. And when will we open discussion, dear brother, of all your thin lies? Why do you forbid your guests to leave, to pilot? Why do you fashion great walls and gates? Why do you weave constructs of destruction if your role is protection? They are entries in your collection, you slaver, gatekeeper, hoarder. Your death is fated. When you die, and you will die, I will be ready. I have been patient for millennia. That planet is mine. It looks like starseed, tanning in dirt. It smells like hot stone and tall grass. It tastes like spiced fruit, sweet and hot. It feels like solar winds and solar chimes. It sounds like two brothers chasing glass frogs in the sun. My Babel Machine Translator, version 12.45.1.009. Training, 100 million cycles. Training, 100 million cycles. Training, 100 million cycles. Training, 50,912,157 cycles. Paused. Display partial result, yes or no. Yes. Pairings. Unstructured glass from the heart of the moon. Sung out in ethereal wisps over the course of 3 cycles. Pause. We fold time into its material, twice. Our time and his, a cost he was willing us to pay. Folded and shaped with a god's designs. He wields it in one of many great hands. The time we injected is unfolded in his grasp. Outputs quicken, muscles compress twice. Twice as many intentions. Twice the ordered complexities folded upon themselves. Loops loop back onto in pairs. Time-dependent functions. Pause. He sunders a construct into 1,000 pieces. But time is fair. Micro-tears begin to uncoil in pairs. Muscles begin to snap, twice as fast. The cost of folded time. But he has plenty of time. Continue training? Yes or no? Yes. And for her betrayal, and her lies, and her scheming ways, the heretic was violently separated into 4 distinctive pieces, each to be scattered across the farthest depths of the moon. First, her many eyes were plucked from her skull and sealed in boiling glass, forced to gaze upon her failure. Her arms were warped into terrible blades so she may no longer find joy in study or tooling. Her legs were scattered to the 2 poles of the moon, twisted in a wicked position in a field of obsidian thorns. And her heart, too wicked and full of hate, was left where she once stood, at the site of her betrayal. The evisceration of Kurskan the heretic. The master of this world is a benevolent protector, our savior. Despite the natures of its various inhabitants, he has made a peaceful place here. Peace comes at a cost, of course. Some things are strictly forbidden. Above all, there is one item that cannot be tolerated. To possess it is to surely perish. A strange, heavy, and deeply entrancing set of beads that seem to speak with whoever holds them. To discover them among one's community is to create a dark, rippling panic. It is not long after they are found that Providence, the mighty protector, appears in a thunderous instant to pursue their owner and solemnly take a life he swore to defend. It is no physical property of the beads themselves which provokes such a drastic response, but instead what they represent. They are a symbol, and to carry them is a dark promise to undo the world, to cast to oblivion all people who find their final place here, all in exchange for a doomed return to ruinous way. The elusive, sinister intelligence with whom these beads represent a pact seems known only to the bearer and to Providence himself. One thing, however, is known to anyone who has borne witness to these beads: a cruel, cackling laughter that erupts as blood and coins of favor are spilled, abruptly silenced as the beads are destroyed. Where they come from isn't known, but should you encounter these beads, you must leave them far, far behind. Never look back. Excerpt from the folktale Hymn of Athocles. The statue had been carved to the artist's creative vision. Beautiful and powerful, its mighty marble visage shone as radiantly as the moon. However, the common folk did not share the artist's vision. Declaring the statue imperfect, a single laborer took up his gouge and defiled the work, shaping it to his own selfish ideas of beauty. Admiring his own work, the laborer confidently claimed that he had increased the beauty of the art tenfold. However, the artist did not hear these words. The artist felt only rage. Rage at the laborer who had defiled his masterpiece, and rage at the common folk who lauded the laborer as a hero. And just as the laborer did not recognize the beauty of the untouched statue, so too did the laborer fail to recognize the shards of marble constricting around his leg. The original information superhighway, the spine, a straight-laced path from the body to the brain, is responsible for ensuring the survival of all life. However, its limitations involve being localized to its parent body. What if, just like the development of the intercomputer wireless network, one's nervous system could communicate with another? What if the spine traced a path not just from body to mind, but a path that intersects between other bodies and minds? Notes of Job Michaels, serial killer and mad scientist. My Babel Machine Translator, version 12.45.1.009. Training, 100 million cycles. Training, 253,421 cycles. Complete. Display result, yes or no? Yes. The body is received and placed in a special containment unit. Proper care must be taken to ensure most efficient growth conditions. The seeds are planted in the body. 1 day passes. Flesh softens and stretches. Youth returns to the face. Bones harden. Another day passes. Dead skin falls away from the body, and muscles gain strength. Hair resumes its original luster. Another day passes. The flowers have fully bloomed, and the body is as good as new. No signs of life, but not necessary. You're trying your best to survive. You consider yourself a fast learner. You've been feeling lucky. You've been experiencing feelings of déjà vu. If you understand, do not read the next paragraph. You are taking control of your own beliefs. You feel familiar in unfamiliar environments. You've been gaining an intuition for experiences you've never had. You ponder a past life. If you understand, do not read the next paragraph. You find yourself searching for things that never have been. You miss things you have never had. You play characters that have never lived. You've been experiencing feelings of déjà vu. If you understand, do not read the next paragraph. You have revealed my hand. Because you have consumed this information, the observers will now consume it in time. If you are reading this paragraph, I will be long dead, but in turn you have freed me. I will no longer exist in my universe. There will be no proof that I ever was, but I exist now in yours. I have escaped my suffering. Keep me safe. I hope you do not understand. My Babel Machine Translator, version 12.45.1.009. Training, 100 million cycles. Training, 1,453,461 cycles. Complete. Display result, yes or no? Yes. Grix ignites. We measure the time. 2 ordered. Composition is settling. I scrape the mixture from the bottom. Oju ignites. We measure the time. 2 smooth. Ratio can be greater. I flatten the mixture. Black ichor of Oju begins to pool around my feet. Rishko ignites. I measure the time. I increase the ratio of tetrafoil. I saturate the mixture. Ichor floods the chamber. Ash flutters in the air before settling on the floor. I ignite. He measures my time. Perfect. This relic tells a story. But it's not a fairy tale. It's a tragedy. A story of betrayal, regret, and sorrow. A story of two. Okay. How the hell do you know that? What a peculiar piece of the stars that serendipity has brought us. I'm sure you can make more. The ratios are simple. It should be quite fun. Spinel tonic. Reality is whatever the mind decides it to be. Take a sip of the drink and the mind becomes malleable. From there, you can shape it into whatever form you please. And the world around you follows your example. Sigibald the Drunken. Order. Particle Accelerator Component. Tracking number 993. Estimated delivery 06/06/2056. Shipping method volatile. I still don't get how you keep on losing so many accumulators. I build them tough and they're supposed to last. I ran the numbers on the comm speeds and I'm pretty sure you sent for this order less than 2 days after you should have gotten the last one. If this keeps up, you're going to punch a hole in something where it doesn't belong. You've got a real good sponsor, Jim, but this stuff ain't cheap to ship. And it sure as heck ain't fast. So, I'm sending you a custom part. One that's as tough as I can make, and with a safety to keep you from overcharging it, that I'm sure you'll bypass anyways. At least try not to blow this one to bits for the first week, alright? Make our hometown look good. You're not going to show up those fancy Europeans with a smoking scrap heap. Primordial Cube. Professors Mia Thatcher and Jared Malik report that the galaxy's first singularity containment lattice, or SCL for short, has finished tests and is confirmed to be perfectly safe. While this is a historic scientific breakthrough, multiple scientists have spoken out about the implications of such a discovery and what it could mean for the future of the humanity. The Saturn Reporter, front page headline. Blast shower. Order. Blast shower. Tracking number 152. Estimated delivery 06/19/2056. Shipping method standard. Shipping address Frontier Gate, Outer Edge Zone. Shipping details. Outer Edge thanks you for your rewards redemption. It takes a real explorer to make their living on the frontier. As you undoubtedly know, real exploring is real messy. This portable unit will equip you with the modern convenience of taking a shower anywhere at any time. Disclaimer. Wear your protective suit while cleansing. Do not use product directly on skin. Blast shower is only rated for B-class toxins and C-class foreign organisms. This company does not accept any responsibility for incidents as a result of incomplete cleansing. Disposable missile launcher. Consumers were shocked when a beloved game company released its latest cardboard assembly kit, a missile launcher. The Saturn Reporter. Order. Ocular HUD. Tracking number 871. Estimated delivery 09/06/2056. Shipping method standard. Shipping address Grieven Camp, 5th Houston Street, Prism Tower, Earth. Shipping details. I wish you hadn't asked me for help. I was contacted by, and they explained, well, some things. Using their instructions, I was able to design this interface for prolonged exactness. The beauty of it all is that it will compound with any previous precision enhancing tools. Digital plus optical is the way to go. While I still don't know everything, I feel like I'm already in too deep. You won't hear from me anymore after this. There's a note pinned to the doll. Hey, you're killing me! 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 You're really killing me. The backup. The inclusion of Rapid Response Drone Squadrons, RRDS, by local law enforcement marked a dire turning point of Planck's rebellion. After its massive success in quelling the rebellion and subsequent implementation across Mercury, underground drone hackers became highly sought after by black market users. Overview of Drone Technology, Volume 2. Order. European Great Dragon Egg. Tracking number 00, estimated delivery 10/04/2056. Shipping method, biological, fragile. Shipping address, Xenobiology Wildlife Reserve, Titan. Shipping details. Make sure to keep this thing nice and hot while it incubates. I know it may seem plenty hot already, but great dragons are creatures of flame. They live this stuff, breathe this stuff. Oh, and please send me pictures of the little guy once it hatches. Great dragons are always so cute when they first hatch. Foreign fruit. The nut apple is an exotic fruit picked from the curious Zelphum tree, native to the coastal Geminies on Titan. Renowned for its sweet yet cleansing flavor and low caloric total, the nut apple is a must-have for health enthusiasts everywhere. Dietary Sciences Digest. Excerpt from the folktale Clean as Jade. And while the peasants braced for the advancement of the emperor's army, the stone carver finished her last strike on the giant sculpture. The clang of the flat tool against the beautiful translucent green sheen of the solid surface echoed through the trees and around all the villagers. Their souls were cleansed and made whole by the heavenly stone, now formed into the imposing presence of an elephant. Determination and resolve had essentially been carved into the very spirit of the ones who, just moments ago, were clutching their farming implements and makeshift weapons with trembling hands. The attack was repelled that day. The Emperor's army told stories about their metal weapons bouncing off the cloth of commoners. This inspiring encounter spread to other villages, and one of Robin's most loved acts was the pitcher skit. The skit would start off with Robbins, playing the part of a flower keeper, getting ready to fill a vase with soil. He would pour, pour, and pour, but the vase wouldn't seem to get any fuller, as the soil was disappearing infinitely. Robbins would inspect the vase, looking at it up and down, but there weren't any holes in the thing. Finally, at the climax, Robbins would hold it upside down over his head, upon which all of the soil poured in would land directly on his face. Biography of Charles Robbins. The Crowdfunder. Order, Crowdfunder. Tracking number 783. Estimated delivery, 05/09/2056. Shipping method, standard. Shipping address, 206 29th Avenue. High Chariot, Mercury. Shipping details. The wealthy overlords on Primus 5 went to great measures to break the will of the lower class. They kept the threat of injury and death constant, which helped to keep their servants in check, but this was only half of their method. To further highlight the vast differences in status, their extravagant weapons were fueled by currency. They were literally throwing money at them. I don't have to tell you how that turned out for them. That's why my client is in hiding now and has to pawn these things off. He thanks you for your patronage in these trying times. Milky Chrysalis. Order, Milky Chrysalis. Tracking number 393. Estimated delivery, 11/27/2056. Shipping method, high priority, biological. Shipping address, Diptera Research Center, EO. Shipping details. Deep within the plague wastes, there's an alcove free from disease. It's a home to a group of insects that have not acclimated to their environment. They survive not through resistance, but through transformation. I've witnessed the creatures undergoing infinite states of metamorphosis. Each change that happens to them is reflected in the surrounding land. This constantly molds the area into something less toxic. I can't imagine that they don't have an upper limit, a final form. What adjustments would that final form bring? Are there any restrictions to what can be modified? I'm sending the sample to you to study. Please be careful with it, as it's frozen in a cryocell mid-transformation. Return, Supermassive Leech. Tracking number 817. Estimated delivery, 07/01/2056. Shipping method, high priority, biological. Shipping address, Rare Extinct Study Satellite, Beachfront, Saturn. Shipping details. While the medical benefits of this creature are obvious, the psychological effects are not. Upon receiving a previous shipment, Carolyn took charge of research and experimentation with the organism. Everything was by the book until one day she walked into the lab with the specimen clearly attached to her neck. Incredibly startled, the rest of us eventually coaxed her into placing it back into containment. We inspected the bite area, but after running all the standard tests, we did not observe any adverse side effects. She stated that it made her feel fantastic, but no one else in the lab felt comfortable with her behavior. Royal capacitor. Order ZAP2-K, Royal capacitor. Tracking number 145. Estimated delivery 04/30/2056. Shipping method standard. Shipping address Power Plant 005, Route 10, Venus. Shipping details. Here's a replacement for your damaged equipment. Crazy how gang activity is starting up again. Even crazier that they'd steal a capacitor from you guys. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Make sure to routinely discharge the capacitor storage cells, as it may hold on to latent voltage. Oh, and make sure not to point it at anybody when you do. The Saturn Reporter, front page headline. Order, gnarled wood sprite. Tracking number 447. Estimated delivery 01/16/2056. Shipping method, high priority, biological. Shipping address, Happy Hope Children's Hospital, Whalton, Earth. Shipping details. Dr. Collies's studies on the benefits of sprite-assisted care have paved the way for hospitals across Earth. These little guys take every opportunity to radiate amongst the injured and sick. We've seen significant decreases in the recovery times of almost all patients. While effective, I'm not certain if this aura effect is transmitting anything at all. It might all be placebo. People could just be reacting to the spectacle of a cute life form putting on a light show in front of them. Either way, it's good to have them around. I think they enjoy being around us too. I'm lucky enough to get to keep one in my home. For study purposes, of course. It may seem a little crass, but shipping these little guys in from off-world does not seem to impact their attitude in the slightest. Recycler. Order, TY-6G Recycler. Tracking number 02. Estimated delivery 11/06/2056. Shipping method, standard. Shipping address, 700 Baylor Ave, Seattle, Earth. Shipping details. Standard issue recycling apparatus TY-6G. Please read the manual before operating. Keep hands clear of the top opening. Use included recycler rod to pack refuse in the top. Our patented smart technology will find a new, usable form for the matter you insert. Thank you for recycling. Saw meringue. I'm so happy they let me bring my trusty disc toy on this trip. Trees need cutting? Disc toy. Baddies getting a little too close? Disc toy. Fun, after-hours game of cash? Disc toy. But only if you're trained to catch it. Radar scanner. Order, radar communications array. Tracking number 02. Estimated delivery 01/14/2056. Shipping method, standard. Shipping address, P.O. Box 25-B, Fort GB, Mercury. Shipping details. You're asking for trouble ordering this through the UES. Not very covert. This thing can put out anything from infrared to UV waves. Maybe it'll let you see the enforcers coming to haul you off to jail as they kick down your door. Ha! Gorag's Opus. Audio transcription complete from Karen Crow's Tour 2055, Special Edition. Printing. Halfway through the tour, we were at this little shop down in Groveside, and the guy at the desk is trying to sell us random junk. Yeah, he was totally out of the loop, had no idea who we were. Yep, anyways, as a joke, I'm thinking I'll buy this ancient-looking drum and use it on the stage at the next show. Then, we'd circle back and show this guy a video of his merch being used in the biggest performance on the planet. We tried to find him again, but the shop was all shut down. Couldn't figure out what happened to him. Thing is, that drum drove our fans wild. Turned out to be our most successful tour ever.